All right, next up we got Ole Miss surviving Florida and what many people deemed Dalton the battle for Lane Kiffin. Ole Miss survived 34-24. They beat the Gators. It was a very, very close game. Though Florida actually led for a lot of this game. Ole Miss stormed back in the second half to win this ball game. Let's go over the highest grade player, starting off with the Ole Miss Rebels. Highest grade player was their safety, Wyatt Williams Jr., 76.5. Sontaran Perkins, the edge rusher, 75.6. Kewan Lacy, who was incredible in this one, 73.2 at running back. Jaden Williams, 72.6. Will Eccles, the D-tackle, 70.6. And Trinidad Chambliss, 76.5. Let's go over to Florida with their highest grade players in the loss. Edge rusher Jaden Woods, 75.8. Makai Boyro, the D-tackle, 75.5. Brendan Bett, the D-tackle, 72.1. Sharif Denson, the corner, 71.4. TJ Abrams, the wide receiver, 69.2. And DJ Lagway with a 62.8 grade in the loss. Dalton, what told the story in this win for Ole Miss?
Look, I mean, to me, this is another one. Their defense stepped up in the second half, pitched a shutout in the second half. Third time we've mentioned it in this show, a team pitching a shutout in the second half, along with Texas A&M and USC. Ole Miss did the same. Their defense stepped up, and the Gators, just the usual inconsistency that's come with their offense. At times, they've looked really good. Remember the first half against Texas. There's been a couple other moments where you go, okay, this offense looks like they can maybe put it together, but they don't put it together for 60 minutes. You look at the Gators offense in the second half. Negative .524 EPA per play. That's really darn low. 2 explosive plays, only 1 play that gained more than 13 yards. Their final 25 plays of the game, Max, they gained 65 yards. 2 punts, 2 turnovers on downs, an interception in the second half. Ole Miss defense stepped up in the biggest way when they needed them to. The Gators threw an early punch. Ole Miss punched back in the second half. Team effort from Ole Miss defense. I don't think there was one individual guy that really took the game over. I thought Pete Golding called a really good game when you talk about the second half, and basically he did exactly what you should do against DJ Lagway. Hey, just sit back, make him throw it underneath. See if he wants to do it. Lagway was once again unwilling to do that. Too much looking for the deep shots downfield. They weren't there. Very hesitant to throw the football more so as the game went on. And I just think Ole Miss defense played an outstanding game in the second half to give their offense a chance to take the game over.
Yeah, my stat is DJ Lagway, when kept clean, just, again, wasn't good enough. 62.4 passing grade when kept clean. For reference, you want that to be somewhere like the 80s at least when you're kept clean. 62.4 was what he had in this one. He was kept clean on 25 of his 35 dropbacks. Once again, this Florida offensive line is one of the best in the country at pass protection, but DJ Lagway cannot take advantage of those clean pockets right now. A 57% adjusted completion rate from a clean pocket, 1 touchdown and 1 pick from a clean pocket as well. They have the supporting cast to be the elite offense that we thought they could be preseason with the receivers. Jaden Baugh is a great running back they've got and a great offensive line too. But what's holding back this Florida offense right now is that DJ Lagway has struggled so much in situations where he should be thriving. Dalton, I'll say it right now, whoever, whether it be Lane Kiffin or whoever else, whoever's the next coach for Florida has a huge decision to make on whether or not DJ Lagway is the quarterback of this team for his junior year, or if you have to go into the portal and get somebody else, or maybe give Tramel Jones a shot at being the starting quarterback. Because DJ Lagway, a guy that we thought could take the leap into superstardom this year after an encouraging freshman year, he's actually regressed from his freshman year, even though the supporting cast around him is good enough for him to be one of the best quarterbacks in college football. He's just not good enough right now with his mechanics, with his accuracy, his decision-making, anything right now. He's got to get a lot better, man. And I'm starting to wonder whether or not he's even the quarterback for Florida next year.
I agree. Talent does not matter without fundamentals. He was the number 1 quarterback in the country. He's got a hose for an arm. He has the ability to make any throw on the field, and he's also a pretty good athlete who can get out of the pocket and move. But it just feels like, you mentioned it, his footwork has always been the big problem. And this game, he's just hesitant. He's hesitant. I don't think he sees the field all that well, and when he's forced to throw underneath, he just doesn't get it done with his accuracy or his timing.
And the pick he had too, where he was rolling out to his left, and he just does like a little sidearm, and it tips off a defender, and it gets picked off. They were driving down the field to build their lead even further, and just like, dude, what are we doing?
And that's a moment where you have a guy trying to do too much.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Santarin Perkins with a great play to tip the ball and then force the interception. So, I mean, you just have a guy who's, I think the development for 2 years has just not been where it needs to be. And it's a big reason why Florida's, they're 3-7 now, and they fired their coach.
Now, to be fair to DJ Lagway, I don't think the infrastructure coaching-wise has been great for him. So maybe, let's just say if Lane Kiffin does decide to go to Florida, maybe under Lane Kiffin, he could develop into the guy we all thought he could be coming out of high school. Maybe if another coach decides to go to Florida as well, like Jed Fish or whoever, maybe they can develop him too. But I don't know. If I'm a head coach going into that program right now, I'm starting to think about whether or not Lagway is a guy that I even want to be the quarterback for my first year at that Gator program. At a job, Dalton, that there's so much pressure on you to succeed. And with all that pressure on you in year one, do you want Lagway to be your guy at quarterback?
Well,
Question.
The two questions, as always, are just who are they going to hire?
Yeah.
And what is the roster turnover going to look like?
Yeah.
Right? We get this especially with new coaching staffs more than ever with these teams is how much of the current roster do they get rid of almost just to do it, almost just to get their own guys in there and guys that they want to fit the culture of what the program is. So, credit to Ole Miss here and their defense as well. I thought in the second half especially they made a lot of great adjustments to really contain Lagway and a really good group of receivers after stumbling a bit in the first half, 3 straight touchdown drives for Florida. Ole Miss defense was really good in this game.
Who do you want to shout out in this win for Ole Miss?
Same guy I've been shouting out all year, and I know obviously your guy that you have took this game over, and deservingly so, as the star of the game. But I think the resilience here in this game from Trinidad Chambliss was awesome to see. He threw a really bad interception early on, but bounced back from every mistake that he made. He spiked the throw later in the second half on 4th and 2 down at the goal line. That would have been an easy touchdown, but he just kept punching back. And then when it was time to just understand the assignment and go, hey, we're going to hand the ball off to Kewan Lacy, then so be it. We're good. But Chambliss, 77 passing grade, 300 more passing yards, a touchdown, yes, the interception. Also, I want to make note of he's a top 15 deep passer in the country, but he really had to adjust downward a little bit. An 85 intermediate passing grade in this game. Outstanding stuff working the middle of the field. And I just, watching this game in the second half, it's just the thought came to my head. Do you remember when this was supposedly a controversy?
Yeah.
You remember those days when it was supposedly a controversy that it was, should Chambliss stay in there another week? Kiffin's not naming a starter. It's a game-time decision. We still had Austin Simmons playing snaps against Oklahoma. Remember when this was some big controversy?
Yep.
And the whole time we were like, this should not be. Look at the way this guy's playing. I think the fact that Chambliss just – when you watch him now and you watch him bounce back, I think that's such a – because he got off to the hot start, right? And anybody can get off to a hot start, but what do you do when teams start to punch back? What do you do when you get shut down in the fourth quarter against Georgia for your only loss of the year? What do you do in this game when you make a big mistake in the first half that puts you behind, right? I think Chambliss, just the resilience along with the way that he's thrown the football this year, it overall for the season, maybe not just for this one game, but overall for the season, that's the biggest reason Ole Miss has an inside track to the playoff, and all they got to do really here is beat Mississippi State, which that's another rivalry where you never know what happens. But Chambliss, I thought, once again, was really good. Maybe not as flashy as some other games, but the way that he took a couple of mistakes on the chin and just kept bouncing back again, awesome stuff from him.
I want to shout out Kewan Lacy, obviously a running back who was incredible. And this one, the Missouri transfer, goes to Ole Miss, and he ran for 224 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Rebels in this game with 138 yards after contact, 14 broken tackles by Kewan Lacy in this one for a 45% forced missed tackle rate. Now, if you're wondering why his grade is a little bit lower than you would expect after that kind of performance, he did have a fumble in this game, and fumbles do drag down your grade a lot in our system, so that did. But he had a great game overall, man. 7.2 yards per carry. And listen, last year, Ole Miss really missed having a bell cow running back in that offense when Quinshon Judkins transferred to Ohio State. But Kewan Lacy is their new bell cow running back, and he has been so valuable for this offense, so it doesn't have to be all on Trinidad Chambliss, because last year, Ole Miss had an elite defense and obviously a first-round quarterback in Jackson Dart and a great passing game, but they didn't really have the run game to help out that offense. You got to wonder, Dalton, if they had Kewan Lacy last year, what this team would have looked like. They didn't have him last year, though, but they have him this year, and they have a great team right now, and Ole Miss seems to have pretty much locked up a spot in the college football playoff with this win over Florida.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at what Lacy's done. I think just in general as a workhorse, right? Leads the nation in carries, leads the nation in touchdowns, third in the nation in yards behind Ahmad Hardy and Cam Cook. I mean, he's broken 85 tackles. This leads the nation in missed tackles forced. I mean, he's just been the workhorse that you need him to be to balance out this offense, which obviously has Chambliss in the great receiving core and is always so high-flying. But Lacy really has been the engine of it. The biggest games, the biggest moments when they've needed him to just, hey, dude, we need you to break a tackle or two. We need 5 yards. We need to answer down in the red zone, down inside the 10-yard line. Lacy's answered every single call this year, and I would expect him to continue to do so. And honestly, the Mississippi State game, for a team that's really built from the back end forward, I would expect Lacy to be the focal point in their last big game of the year then, too.
Yeah, absolutely incredible job by him in this one. And 14 broken tackles against Florida and over 200 rushing yards as well for Kewan Lacy, who has been one of the best running backs that we've had in college football this year. All right, big win for Ole Miss over Florida.